Third race on the card, the Unibet British Stallion Studs EBF Restricted Novice Stakes. Once again, this is the third race in a row for horses who are in bands C and D. This one is over 6 furlongs. And really, Rachel, at the moment, according to the market at least, this revolves around one horse and he's in shot, Harry 3.
Yeah, and it does. Based on his course and distance win a couple of weeks ago, he looks an absolute pitcher. Clive Cox is here at 5:45 on a Wednesday evening. He still looks really, really well in his coat. He looks a little bit more cut than he did on debut, as you'd expect, but he's the one horse I came that I was really excited to see in the flesh, and I'm really looking forward to them taking the rest of the rugs off.
Outside of the listed race, he really is the star attraction on show. He bids to do what Popmaster did, last year's winner, and win under a penalty, and also what his half-brother Diligent Harry did, and win under a penalty at Kempton. One of the chief opposition horses is just passing in front of us, number 12, You Go Girl, for Joe Ponting. Joe hasn't had many runners on the flat. In fact, he's looking for his first winner on the flat. And You Go Girl, she doesn't have a bad chance of becoming the first one, albeit that this is going to be a tough task.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on debut over the 7 furlongs at Chelmsford, she went to the front from the wide outside draw of 12. She was keen early. She duelled with a couple of other horses that came and took her on. She was green and hung late in the final couple of furlongs before being outpaced to finish 6th, only beaten 3.5 lengths. Queen's Company, who we just saw run a really good race a half an hour ago, finished 4th that day. So form has been frank to a small extent. She's a small daughter of Twilight's son, but his horses go really, really well around here, and he's been having an outstanding first year as a sire.
She at the moment in the market is chief opposition. Number 9, who is just passing the Corto Star statue, doubly flanked. That is small print. It's stall 11 for her second start, but you'd imagine that improvement will be forthcoming from her debut here.
Yeah, she absolutely stood for trainer Roger Charlton, who they tend to learn on the job and improve leaps and bounds for start 1 to start 2. She was slow away last time, and she was last turning in here at Kempton over 6 before staying on. She showed some ability. The third exclusive times has come out with one against Sits at Wolverhampton. The one slight thing with her, she still got the noseband on. She had that on for debut, but she has quite a high head carriage, so I'm guessing that's more for keep her attention than a fashion statement.
Of horses who are just passing where we are currently at our position, the fourth back is number 6, Roman in Gloamin, who's attracted a bit of support, backed in from around about not double the price, but double figure prices into a single figure one now. Yeah,
I mean, you throw away the debut run. It was an open novice company over 7 furlongs at Redcar on soft ground, where he stayed up with the pace before being really badly hampered in the stretch, when actually Dazzling, who reopposes today, came across him and basically wiped him out and all of his chances. So, I mean, he's basically here on debut, having had a racecourse gallop on a couple of weeks ago.
So there are the key protagonists ahead of our third race on the card. It's the first novice stakes of the evening. It's the Unibet British Stallion Studs EBF Restricted Novice for horses in bands C and D, and it's over 6 furlongs.
However, Kempton's still in its infancy. This is the third of 8 and the shortest price favourite of the evening as well. Number 1, Harry 3, who is 1-4 to make it 2 out of 2 in this restricted novice stakes. So we had a restricted maiden early on, band C and D, so the horses can't have cost more than 30,000. That's a band C, can't have cost more than 15,000 to be in band D, and you receive a couple of pounds if you are a D as opposed to a C. You Go Girl 7-1, small print 10-1, Roman in Gloamin, just about the perfect time, 5:45 to run that horse, 11-1, Hot Legs Lil 16s, Prince of Flight 40s, Dazzling 66-1. Anthony, are you Roman in the Gloamin?
How do I respond to that, Richard? Yeah, yeah. To be honest, I mean, don't let the lights deceive you. It is now dark here at Kempton Park, and we did just have a little incident in the paddock, Rachel, with, ironically, Roman and Gloamin was just getting a little hot under the collar, and he just made a group of owners scatter away quick as they could.
Yeah, it was just Hot Legs Lil got the leg up Holly Doyle, and she's just sort of stopped when they did that, and then Roman and Gloamin sort of ran into her backside and then decided to reverse faster than he went forward, and like birch scattering at Aintree, owners went everywhere. But everybody's okay, horses are back out on track, and some of the owners, while, as I said, might not have been good for their back, they had a good time, but that's what happens when you're on your phone in the paddock.
It definitely woke them up, that's for sure, ahead of this restricted novice. There in shot is one of the key contenders on the entire card, to be honest. As we were saying in the paddock, bar the high stakes, this is the star attraction on show, and he looks to make it 2 from 2. Bids to do what Popmaster did last year when winning this race, and what his half-brother Diligent Harry did when defying a penalty to win here.
Yeah, and he was really impressive on debut, and what I loved is he walked around the paddock with no sign of greenness, and when they took the rug off, he just got on his toes ever so slightly. But as we said, Clive Cox here, they took great pains to just be a little bit quiet. Adam got aboard near where the owners' champagne reception bar is by the owners and trainers, and went straight out. He's a bit keen going down to the start, but it is a 6-furlong race, and as long as Adam can get him back before they go really far behind the stalls, I'm not bothered by this at all. I vaguely remember him doing this on the way to the start. He's just exuberant on his debut run, and that run was very impressive. He was drawn in stall 9, and he had a really good burst of acceleration when asked. And as I said, what I really loved was he still looked a bit green when he got in front, and Adam just had to keep his mind up to his work because he was looking around, but these floodlights are new to horses. The form has worked out to an extent in the second. Washra has come out and been second again since, but I mean, it was the way he did it. It was the fact that, you know, he's the half-brother of Diligent Harry, who won his first 2 starts, including under a penalty, and then went on to be a little bit of a 3-year-old star in the all-weather, culminating in Good Friday at Lingfield before going on to, but without winning, becoming a little bit of a very nice turf sprinter the latter half of the season. So I'm sure they're hoping that it continues to work, considering as about a month and a half ago Clive Cox signed the ticket for their half-brother yearling, so keeping it in the family, as it were.
9-2 on to defy a penalty. The conditions of the race, as you noted at the top of the programme, or at the top of our stay at Kempton Park this evening, that they do suit him as well, that he gives 5 to some and 7 to others.
Yeah, because he is, as Richard was explaining, he is a D horse, a band D horse. He gets £2 from the band C horses, the likes of Prince of Flight, Dazzling, etc. So his £7 penalty for winning last time out is only a £5 penalty for some of the horses. On the other hand, it's a bigger penalty for some of the fillies. So take it as you want. If he is in the same vein of form and runs this very similar race, and unless something steps up that's a bit unexpected, I mean, he should be able to do this, and it'd be just a bit of a how far, because if he shows the similar sort of quality that his brother did, they're not going to be looking at handicaps for a little bit.
Twilight Revenge just getting a little bit het up at the moment. We'll head shortly towards the stalls, although jockey now dismounts, so she's going to try and go in early without the jock.
Yeah, she's had a rope halter on in the paddock. She obviously has it on in the gate. That just gives the stall handlers and her handlers a little bit more control for her on debut. Another son of Twilight son. As we said, there's a lot of them running today. The Dam was a proper horse for Mark Usher. Swedish Revenge. She was a 7 times 5 and 6 furlong winning sprinter, including 5 times on the all-weather. She's dropped 2 winners, both 6 furlong all-weather winners for Mark Arster. So this is very much a family that Mark and the team know very well, and they'll have placed this, not necessarily to win today, but this is probably going to be his bag going forward.
11-2 on for the favourite at the moment, Harry 3, but I'll hear people screaming at the screen, these are 2-year-olds, anything could happen. What if the unthinkable doesn't happen, now 6-1 on, who would you be nailing your colours to the mast?
I'd be nailing my colours to the likes of Hot Legs Lil for Holly Doyle and Joe Tuitt. Finished 8th, outpaced, hung badly left, did a lot wrong over 5 furlongs at Bath on debut, but the step up in triple suit, the all-weather suit, that was an open race. This, barring the favourite, is a much lower level race today. And also Small Print, the daughter of Siuni, who finished 7th for Roger Tarleton, slow away, did a lot wrong before staying on and showing that she had a little bit of talent. She does have the noseband on again today. She does have a bit of a high head carriage, so hopefully they can sort that out.
There are some huge prices in here that, as you're seeing ticking along the screen, the likes of Sonny Brown, the likes of Mikuna. Just another day, you'd imagine, for these horses. They're going to find their level eventually. They've got a massive task ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is a bit like last year. Potmaster came into this for Ed Walker and Lawrence Bellman with a high reputation off his previous win, and he went and did the business, and he turned into a nice turf handicapper the latter end of this season, and hopefully Harry 3 will follow up again today.
Harry 3 will be one of the last to load. You Go Girl will be the last. Let's get up to Mark.
In the gate. And they're off. 1 or 2 of these slow to begin, noticeably on the inside. Sonny Brown from stall 1 was very ponderous away. You Go Girl claims the rail and has the lead to Prince of Flight on that one's outside in second as they go into the turn. On the inside, Hot Legs Lil is now in a share of third, with Mikuna making a 3-wide sweeping move around the outside, and racing between horses is Roman in Gloman. Unhurried is Harry 3, just held up off the speed. At the moment, he's been rated in about 7th place on the inside of Dazzling as they make the turn into the home straight. Small Print is next, and then Natural Impulse, who is racing alongside Twilight Revenge, and Sonny Brown is totally tailed off. They've got 2 furlongs to go, and You Go Girl has got the lead. You Go Girl is out in front, giving chase is Prince of Flight, and over on the far side, Hot Legs Lil, and now asked to challenge towards the far side rail is Harry 3 inside the final furlong. You Go Girl still has the lead, battling on tenaciously, but Harry 3 now begins to really pick it up, and he goes on racing up towards the line. 2 out of 2, Harry 3. Second came Roman and Glomin, and it was pretty close for third in the end between You Go Girl and Twilight Revenge, who got the idea of the racing game late but stayed on to effect.
Harry 3 then, 2 from 2 and defies the penalty, but if you took the short price, you can come out from behind the sofa. He's got the job done, but that was not easy, Rachel, partly because the door slammed shut right in his face. Adam Kirby's had to switch to the far side rail. Eventually, he's got the job done, and it continues his education. 8-1 on in the end.
Yeah, yeah, that was hard to watch stuff. Half of it was yelling at the television for various reasons, but I think that would be one where Adam Kirby thought he was absolutely cantering because he's going to come to the cutaway. Now he's not moved at all. Going to go to the cutaway, go to the switch to the outside, doors slamming left, right and centre, and all of a sudden Adam actually has to go and ask the horse properly, goes up the far side rail and has to go and win his race properly. I think he was impressive a couple of weeks ago. He's learned to be a racehorse today because it went wrong. He was really keen early. He was stuck in behind a wall of horses. I mean, this horse could be a whole lot. You can see he's breaking from stall 2 as Sonny Brown in stall 1 had the curse of the stall 1s on debut right there. And I don't think necessarily Adam wanted to be three lots back as You Go Girl went to the lead with the outsider Prince of Flight to her outside, and Adam gets shuffled back. You can see he's got quite a high head carriage here. I don't know if he's not facing up to the kickback, just a bit keen and green, and he's not settling the way you'd have wanted to see him settle.
Not at all. He's going to continue to pull hard even as they round the home turn. Even at this point, he is not consenting to settle. And as they get into the teeth of the race, though, he's travelling really powerfully. If the gap had come, then he, as you say, he probably wouldn't have had to have learned a lot more. But this is only going to benefit him going forward. He's, as you say, he's had to learn to be a racehorse today. Yeah. And because adversity has slammed the door shut in his face, and at that point, if you took 8-1 on, you'd have been screaming at the TV. He's got the gears to get you out of trouble. Yeah,
he definitely does. And I mean, he's very impressive, but also I would think one of the eye catchers here. I know it'll be in lower grades in the future, but the debutante Twilight Revenge and the Orange Silks following Harry 3
Massive
through.
Run in fourth.
He did everything wrong. Absolutely everything. Rope halter because he's a bit quirky, everything. And he stayed on to really good effect once the penny sort of dropped, albeit a little bit late. He was the last of the main body of the field. As we said, Sonny Brown was detached from the start and just stayed on very strongly. Family that Mark Usher knows and has done very well with siblings, parents.